This is section 4.2, part 4, where we are going to find maximum and minimum values. Sometimes you're not asked to graph. You're simply asked to find a maximum or minimum and to find what that value actually is. So it's really important for you to be able to identify whether the parabola opens up or opens down. And we already talked about this. We said if your A value, which is this value right here, is positive, your graph's going to open up. If your A value is negative, your graph is going to open down. And what are your maximum and minimum values? Well, the maximum and minimum value is always going to be the y value of the vertex. You have to find the vertex. So that's what you're going to want to do. I'll make a little note here. Find the vertex. And your max / min will be the y value of the vertex. That's it. Find the vertex, find that y value, and you have your max or min. You know if it's a max or min based on whether the graph opens up or down, and we'll explain that a little bit more in detail here. So first thing what we're going to do is look at the vertex form because it's easier. Vertex form, hey, the vertex is already identified. All you have to do is pull the numbers out of the problem. As a refresher, the vertex form is the formula y equals a times the quantity x minus h squared plus k, where your vertex is the value h and k. And remember that h value is the opposite value in your vertex as it is in the equation. K holds the exact same value. So, first things first, let's look at number 1. Y equals 2 times the quantity x plus 2 squared minus 1. Question, does this graph open up or down? Take a look at that a value right there. That a value, is it positive or is it negative? Hey, that a value, that's a positive number. So what happens to my graph? Does it open up or down? It opens up. So the parabola opens up. Just a quick visual for those that won't need to see it. The parabola that opens up looks like this. So the vertex is going to be here. If the parabola looks like this, it's going to go forever and forever in the positive direction. It has a lowest point though. So since it has a lowest point, do you have a max or do you have a min? You're going to have a minimum. So whenever your parabola opens up, you are always going to have a minimum. So let's find the vertex. Well, that's easy to do. My vertex is going to hold the value h and k. H is here. Remember, h is opposites. So since I see a positive 2, I know the x value is negative 2, or the h value is negative 2. Then I go ahead and look at my k. Say negative 1, we hold the same value there, so my vertex is negative 2, negative 1. And your minimum value, as I said here, is always the y value of your vertex. So that's right here. This is my min value. So my answer would be to state that I in fact have a minimum, and that value is y equals negative 1. That's it. That's how you do it for the vertex form. Next, let's look at the intercept form. So in the intercept form, the formula is y equals a times the quantity x minus p times the quantity x minus q. You can't see the vertex just from looking at the numbers. You do have to do a little bit of extra math to find it. First thing, you have to find the axis of symmetry, then plug that x value back into the equation, find the value of y. Then you'll have your vertex. When you're in the intercept form, your axis of symmetry is x equals p plus q divided by 2. Remember, you want to find the average of your two x-axes. P and q, divide by 2. So let's take a look at a problem here. Alright, so we've got, scroll down a little bit, y equals -2 times the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 3. First thing we want to do, analyze that a value. Is that positive or negative? Alright, we have a negative a value. So what does that tell us? It tells us that the parabola opens down. And again, a visual. Alright, if your parabola opens down, your vertex is going to be up here. And since it opens down, it will go forever and ever in the downward direction. So we have a highest point, which tells us we have a maximum. So whenever your parabola opens down, you will always have a maximum. Whenever it opens up, you will always have a minimum. Alright, so we know we're going to have a maximum. What is that maximum, though? We have to find the vertex. So first thing we need to do, alright, is find our P and Q. How do we do that? Take our two binomials here and set them equal to what number? 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. Want to find our x-intercepts. So we will add 2 to each side here, and we will see x equals 2. Here we will add 3 to each side, and we'll see x equals 3. So our points are 2, 0, 3, 0. So we want to, with that knowledge, all right, remember, this is our P, this is our Q. Now we want to go ahead and find our axis of symmetry. And I gave you that formula right up here. X equals P plus Q divided by 2. I'll rewrite it. X equals P plus Q divided by 2. Our value of P is 2. Our value of Q is 3. So we see 5 divided by 2, or simply 2 halves, or 2.5. Alright, so I'll leave it in fraction form though, 5 halves. So we can see x equals 5 halves. That's the x value of my vertex. Now we have to find the y value. So I'm going to take the original problem, which was y equals -2 times the quantity x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 3. And I will plug in 5 halves here. And I'm going to rewrite 2 so it has a denominator of 2. So I'm going to rewrite it as 4 over 2. Plug in 5 halves. Rewrite 3 so it has a denominator of 2. So I'm going to write that as 6 over 2. And that'll allow me to do a little bit of basic math mentally. No calculator needed. So I'm going to drop down this -2. 5 halves minus 4 halves. 5 minus 4 is 1. So that gives me 1 half. 5 minus 6, well, that's -1. Alright, so that's -1 half. We can multiply the fractions together, so we'll multiply straight across, and I'm going to get -1/4. Multiply by -2, 2 negatives make a positive. This is going to equal 2/4, which is simply 1 half. So my y value is 1 half. So I've got the x value of my vertex here, the y value of my vertex here. I found the y by plugging in the axis of symmetry, which is the x value of the vertex, into the equation. Solve for y. So my vertex is 5 halves, 1 half. And remember, alright, this is going to be your max or min. And in this case, we had our max. So I'm going to state a maximum. I have a maximum, and it occurs at y equals +1 half. Alright, and that's the end of part 4.